That was literally 100% uncalled for of my phone.
Rude phone.
Anyways,
Hey.
Thanks for coming back to Ask the Conch. I remember
weird.
this one. I do remember this one. But we're gonna get right into it, I think. This one's really, really short. Am I the asshole for telling a stripper she smelled? Am I the asshole for telling a stripper she smelled down there? I was getting a lap dance when she put her crotch right in my face, and it reeked like onions and vinegar.
Woof.
I politely asked how she's been at work that day, and she asked me why, and I asked that, and politely I replied, because you need to freshen up the clam, honey. I got cussed out and thrown out of the bar.
They threw him out of the bar?
That's what it says.
Oh, that's terrible. No, your fucking stripper den mother should have fucking said, no, you know, freshy fresh. That's how you get your tippy tips. Oh my God.
So there's a lot of comments that say, like, sometimes you see the title and there's no chance of scrolling past it. And that's about where
Solid.
I was at. Seriously, I didn't want to read this. I was compelled to.
Compelled.
We'll just start off with that.
Oh my God.
So
I've seen that. That's
we're gonna go to this one. This is an Am I Overreacting? Am I overreacting? Wife refuses to take her allergies seriously, so I kicked her out.
Is he allergic to your bullshit?
Let's find out. So last night, my 33 male wife, a 33 female, came home from work and pulled out a container of something I wasn't familiar with, and she sat down to eat. She works at a grocery store, so I normally don't think too much about it, but when I got a whiff, it smelled like crab salad. Now, for context, my wife has a pretty intense allergy to green and red onions, but it is fine with yellow and white onions. Now, in America, we do have ingredients listed on packages, which is required by law. However, companies are allowed to be vague with certain ingredients, and onions are one of those. Normally, if I spot onions listed as an ingredient, it's a hard pass for me. I don't even chance it. My wife, however, doesn't do this. Back to last night. I got up and asked to see the container, which was half gone at this point, and read the ingredient list. Onions, plain as day, were listed at the top of the ingredients. I asked her if she was bothered to read the ingredients, and then she said she did, but she assumed they were the safe ones. At this point, I grabbed the EpiPen from her purse, which I feel the need to add, but she only started carrying an EpiPen and Benadryl because I badgered her for a couple of years about when we started dating. And I kept it close by. I was upset because when I used to work in a kitchen, I know damn well that green onions and seafood are almost inseparable in those salads, and I kept a calm demeanor and just watched her, and within a few minutes, she started having a reaction. At first, I wanted to give her the EpiPen because she had eaten so much, but she refused and said she would just take some Benadryl and lay down on the couch. Eventually, she needed to be given the EpiPen, and I drove her to the ER. Keep in mind, this is taking place at about 12 a.m., and I work at 8 a.m.
Oh, God.
We get to the ER, and they admit her. They tell her that she needs to stay overnight for observation because of how severe her reaction is, and I talked to my wife about it. We know the staff here pretty well, and I know she is in good hands, so I checked with her to see if she would be okay if I went home to get some sleep before work. She said that would be totally fine. However, as I was leaving, I chose to call her mom and ask my wife if she could ask if my wife could spend a couple days at her house. You see, I was furious with her at this moment because I felt like I am the only one who takes the allergies seriously, and I'm not the one who will literally die if I eat the wrong onions. This isn't the first time that she's been careless and ended up needing to go to the hospital because she had a reaction. There have been many times before where she just ate first, asked questions later, and it frustrates me to no end that she doesn't take it seriously enough to take a few moments to read the ingredients and avoid onions that she just cannot plainly identify. So since I wasn't getting it through to her and the hospital visits seemed to be ignored as well, I decided that making her stay with her mother for a few days might send the message. I got home, packed her suitcase for the next few days, and when I got the call that she was being discharged at 7 this morning, I picked her up and drove her to her mother's house. I told her that I was dropping her off and that it wasn't permanent, but I needed a couple of days to cool down, and she needed to be monitored anyway since she just got out of the hospital, so this was the best course of action. She cried a lot. She begged me to take her home instead, but I refused to budge. Her mom brought her inside, and I told her that I would be blocking my wife's calls for the day while I was at work, so if there was an emergency that she would need to get a hold of me. Her mom agreed and told me that this was probably the best idea since she was just as frustrated that her daughter seemed to not be taking this seriously. So here I am now at work, and I feel like I might be overreacting by kicking her out for a few days. Did I? And then there is an edit that says, so I realized after reading a few responses that I might have seemed a little heartless here, so I wanted to clear a few things up. I'm only blocking her calls during work because it is a double shift and I need to be fully attentive at my work. And since I didn't get any sleep, it's going to be challenging enough as it is. If there is something serious, her mother can and will call me. Second, I packed her favorite things and I am having her favorite dinner sent to her mom's house tonight, so she is well cared for and not just being abandoned. I would never just abandon her, and my frustration comes from a fear of losing her to something avoidable as an allergic reaction. I also picked up an additional shift for tomorrow to make up for the time she's missing from work, so I won't have to worry about the missing hours. I am and always will support her, but this is somewhat of an intervention for her as well.
Exactly. You're gonna get this is a lesson learned.
Yeah, I think that this is
better to
yeah.
Hey, go have a break at your mom's house and be monitored for a couple of days instead of me finding you dead because you just cannot stay away from fucking onions.
Well, and you know, honestly, like, okay, so
and
Brett
onions is huge. That's
Brett has for sure like an intolerance to garlic and onions, and like it causes some problems, but like you can also get treatments for it. Of course, not where we live.
That
because
was pretty fucking severe reaction.
Yeah, it's not putting him in the hospital or doing anything crazy like that.
Benadryl, EpiPen, and the nurses are like, you gotta stay for monitoring because of how severe.
Yeah, that's crazy. I can't, but I would not. What?
Well, and the mental strain you're putting on your husband of like fucking, you could have died. Here you go.
Well, and like, isn't it supposed to be
multiple times?
Yeah, like, and if it's that bad, I'm assuming that it gets worse every time. And if you've used an EpiPen, like, have you ever used an EpiPen for?
Now, thank God I haven't had to use one, but I have one on hand. But it's scary as fuck. Ugh. I've seen a father-in-law. We shot him with one, and he got stung by a bee. And we had to make him like take laps and stuff. I got to run that shit off. The adrenaline was so much.
Weird. Interesting. I don't know if I have any I'm probably allergic to some trees. Some kind of plants, which would be my luck because I love plants. But
no, it's like my mom, just pine trees. Yeah, everything's pine.
That would make a lot of sense. If I was allergic to pine. I could see like being allergic to wood smoke too. Oh my god, that would be stupid.
Yeah, I got 4 dogs and
Brett is too. So he gets immunotherapy shots.
I think it's just the dander. I want to pet him.
Brett's pretty allergic to dogs.
Well,
he called it though. He shouldn't have said anything. That's what I told him. I told him he shouldn't have said anything. But he told me before we found out what he was allergic to, he told me, if I'm allergic to dogs, you just throw me away with the trash. So, yeah. Okay. We're gonna go right here because that's a different one.
Oh yeah, was it the asshole one? I forgot to say.
It was, am I overreacting?
Okay, overreacting.
No, definitely not. No. So this one is also an am I overreacting, actually. My sister's husband basically stole a TV during Black Friday and everyone's acting like it's fine. This just so happened during a Black Friday and I'm still processing it. My sister and her husband Mike went to Walmart for their Black Friday sale. According to them, it was absolute chaos. Hundreds of people were everywhere, barely any workers. It was a total mess. Mike managed to grab one of the doorbuster deals, a huge 65-inch TV that was marked down from $8.99 to $3.99. Apparently, the checkout lines were so insane that people just started walking out, like literally just pushing their carts through without paying because there weren't enough workers at the registers and security couldn't handle it. My sister and Mike joined them. They walked out with a $400 TV because everyone else was doing it, and the store should have been better prepared. The part that really bothers me is they were bragging about it at family dinner yesterday, right in front of their kids, 8 and 10, and my kids, 7 and 12. They were laughing about their amazing deal like it was some funny story about outsmarting the system. I pulled my sister aside and told her this was basically stealing and set a terrible example for the kids.
Yeah.
She got defensive, saying I'm being dramatic and that big stores accept this kind of loss during sales, and that's not really stealing because the store couldn't handle their own sale properly.
Okay.
Wow. Mike jumped in saying I need to chill, and I'm probably just jealous because I didn't get any deals. I'm honestly disgusted by the whole thing. Later, my kids were asking if it was okay to not pay for stuff when stores are really busy, which just proves my point about what message this sends to kids.
Exhibit A.
My sister hasn't talked to me since I called her out, and my parents are saying I should apologize for making drama and that it's none of my business. But someone needs to say something, right? Am I seriously overreacting here? Everyone's acting like this is just normal Black Friday behavior, and I feel like I'm going crazy.
Oh, that's really fucked up. Your
And, like,
family's snaky as
It's
fuck.
basically stealing? What do you mean it's
No,
basically stealing?
that's you stole that
You
shit.
stole. Also, I think it's hilarious that the TV was marked down from $8.99 to $4.99 or $3.99 because a 65-inch TV, at least where we are, is $3.99 before Black Friday. It doesn't matter if it's Black Friday. It's $3.99.
We were just talking about this like a week ago.
We had to replace our TV after one time. I don't know. It was a power outage.
Yep.
Guys, woo! We had a power outage and it
bolt.
fried our TV, and we had to buy a 65-inch TV, and it was, I'm pretty sure it was $400. Like,
yeah,
I'm like
99.9%
positive it was $400.
And then a year later, it was like $3.99.
Yeah, oh, they got really cheap.
Black Friday came around, it was like $200.
They got
you stole that shit.
Yeah, yeah, they got that for free. They got that because they stole. They didn't basically stole.
You did.
Like you said, they basically stole. No, they did not. They for sure stole. Not overreacting.
The kids. Oh, and it's real busy. We could just walk out of the store. Cool.
So, yeah, that's great. On top of that, like, I don't even know how you justify that. What, you justify it because a bunch of people decided to walk out of the store? That just to me sounds like they're going to do even more to try and figure out who stole a bunch of shit because they didn't just lose out on the $400 TV. They also lost out on what everybody else walked out with.
It's not like you don't have a picture of your fucking face when you're walking out.
Yeah.
I mean, fuck, they tried getting me. They were like, what, jump my ass for, oh my God, you stole, it was a drink. I opened a soda and I was walking around the store and I normally like ring it up when I'm done. And my grandpa called in having a diabetic attack. And I was like, oh my God, freaking out on the phone. And I threw it away in the garbage, which is weird, deposit here. That's a dime. So I don't ever throw it away. And they got me at the very end and they were walking out like, did you forget to pay for your soda? And I was like, oh no, I got my soda right here. So I bought another one, totally forgot. And they're like, no, this one. They pulled it out of the can and they're like, we've seen it on camera or whatever.
I mean, I'm not really surprised by that because I feel like, I mean, I remember
it was also like a pandemic of people fucking stealing drinks and shit.
Probably because of the freaking, I mean, I feel like people try and get away with a lot because of self-checkouts.
Yeah.
I guess, I don't know how it is now. It seems like people, but like, I know that a lot of people, like I've heard from people who work at Walmart that say that what usually happens is that people, like, they'll like pay, but it doesn't like go through, and then they just leave with all their shit, and like it's still left on the self-checkout thing, and it's like, I know when I was working at the store, one time I accidentally let somebody steal because some lady bought like $15 worth of snacks, and then I rung her up and I didn't realize that like it didn't go through, and I just was like, have a nice day, and sent her on her way, and then realized the transaction was still up and was like, oops. Like, well, I hope that bitch's sweet tarts are good.
Sweet tarts on me.
Yeah, Walmart though, it doesn't seem real, honestly. It seems like a fake story almost, like from the. But why would you do that? Why would you even make a story up about how you stole a TV from Walmart? Because that just seems stupid. That seems more stupid than stealing a TV from Walmart.
Yeah, because when I was a teenager, I remember someone bragging up about Black Friday, fucking stealing, loaded up a cart full of electronics, and yeah, like the beep beep went off. And they were like matching pace with somebody else or something stupid. It was like, okay, but people were still around. And I don't know. That's
I don't know. That's
weird, and
I'd have too much anxiety.
And your whole family's sketchy as fuck.
Yeah, everybody's just like, yeah, cool, whatever. Yeah. That's the greatest deal I ever heard on TV on Black Friday.
Mom and Dad, just apologize. You're making drama.
Also, no. After the questions, no. Okay, no. That's no. So we're going to Am I the Asshole now?
All right.
Am I the asshole for breaking off my engagement with my fiance because of his creepy comments to my 14-year-old sister?
Oh, probably not.
So, I, 20 female, am in a tough situation, and I'm not sure if I'm overreacting or if I need some outside perspectives. I've been with my fiance, Charles, 35 male, for about 2 years. That's a 15-year age difference. 2 years, so she was 18 years old when they got in a relationship, and he was 33. Oh
no, and then I was trying to go off and get her niece, 14-year-old
sister.
Yeah.
So I've been with my fiance Charles, 35 male, for about 2 years, and everything seemed fine until recently. A few weeks ago, my 14-year-old sister Amy came to stay with us for just a few days while our parents were out of town. During her stay, I started noticing some really unsettling things. At first, I thought I was imagining it, but Charles kept making comments that made me feel incredibly uncomfortable. He would call her so hot. Ew. And he would say things like, you're going to turn heads when you're older, and you've got such a body on you already. The worst part was when he said, I'd be jealous if I were your boyfriend. Every guy will be looking at you soon. I tried to ignore it at first, but it kept happening, and I began to feel sick to my stomach. Yeah. Then one evening, I heard him telling a friend on the phone, Amy's got that look now, like she's starting to bloom. It was honestly one of the creepiest things I've ever heard. I felt like I was losing my mind, and I just knew I couldn't stay in that relationship anymore. I confronted him about his behavior, and he immediately got defensive. He denied it and said that I was being paranoid and that I should just trust him. He insisted that he was just being nice and that I was overreacting. I didn't care. I packed my things, broke off the engagement, and moved back in with my parents. Now my friends and some family members are telling me I overreacted. They say I should have talked it out with him at first, but I don't see how that would have changed anything. So am I the asshole for breaking up with my fiance because of his creepy comments toward my little sister?
No, because
that's horrifying. On top of that,
right? You're only 18. You're barely fucking.
She's 20 now. They've been together for a little
2
while.
Years.
So
you're together since you're 18, and he is looking for the next younger model. Oh my god!
Only 14.
Grooming behavior for fucking fuck's sakes. Sorry, I puked a little.
I can't believe that some of her family members and friends. No, it actually doesn't even say some. It says now my family and friends and some family members, friends and some family members.
Yeah, like she'll just give him, work it out. What the fuck? Red flags.
Yeah, how is that? Yeah, They're so
fucking flying. At least she was smart and recognized.
Yeah, I'm glad that she did, because holy fuck. Plus, I mean, 20 years old, you got some time to not be with that.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Predator.
Okay, so this one is another Am I the Asshole? And it says, Am I the asshole for ruining Thanksgiving after my boyfriend announced my pregnancy and his mom fainted?
Oh, fuck.
All right, so I, 20 female, went to my boyfriend Jake, 22 male's family Thanksgiving dinner last week. We had been dating a year, and this was my first time meeting the whole squad, so I was already kind of nervous. Before we left, Jake joked about his family was super traditional and said I should be ready for some old-fashioned vibes. I just laughed it off. Dinner starts and everything was fine until suddenly Jake goes, "Hey everyone, we have big news."
Oh,
I'm sitting there like, what big news? And then he grins at me and says, "Tell them, babe." I'm panicking, so I just sit there confused, and his mom is already emotional, asking if we're engaged or something. Then Jake drops, "She's pregnant." Y'all, I am not pregnant. I immediately started denying it, but Jake's cracking up, saying it's just a joke and telling me to play along. His family is not laughing. His mom legit faints. His dad starts yelling, and his grandma is praying under her breath.
Oh my
I am mortified. I stand up and go, actually, the real joke is Jake thinking I'd stay with someone who'd pull this, and I walked out. Jake has been blowing up my phone and that I embarrassed him and ruined Thanksgiving. His family is apparently mad at me for causing drama, but like, I didn't announce a fake pregnancy and traumatize his mom. Am I the asshole for walking out and leaving him to deal with this mess?
Yeah, that was his fucking drama.
Yeah, I mean, he made the mess.
What the fuck? That's not even something to joke. Like, that's mean.
No.
That's mean. The fuck?
I just don't, yeah, and on top, when is that a joke anyways?
That's right.
Ever.
Haha.
For anybody.
Lucky fucking grandma.
And after you literally said, okay, old-fashioned vibes, and now you're going to make this joke on purpose because you know about the old-fashioned vibes?
It is, they're like, oh, are you engaged? And yeah, and they're like, oh, you know, pregnant before engagement, you're already going to be having a faint, and then it's not even real pregnancy, it's just a prank. So, oh my God.
It's nuts.
But, you just killed someone's grandma. I bet she had a heart attack.
Yeah, for real. Mom fainted?
Mom fainted. Grandma's praying.
I think I would have left too.
Fuck yeah.
Honestly. Okay. We're going to go to Today I Fucked Up.
I like that one.
Today I fucked up because I didn't get home in time for my parents' dogs, and Roomba made my life hell.
Oh, yeah.
So, last Friday, my parents went on a cruise for the Thanksgiving holiday. I live about 20 minutes away from them, and they asked if I could watch their dogs while they weren't home. I said, sure, no problem. For context, my parents' 2 dogs get ultra depression when my parents are away. I watch them a dozen times, and every time they basically go on hunger strike and will go from eating twice a day to only eating once every couple days. As such as they only ever go pee when I let them out. I have ways to coax them into eating, but it's sporadic, and I have to be careful not to leave them alone for too long because their bathroom tendencies get out of whack too.
Shitstorm.
So for the last week or so, I've been staying mostly at my parents' and just hanging out, enjoying their house and watching the dogs. But last night, one of my buddies asked me to play some video games and catch up after not talking for a while. So I fed the dogs about 5. They eat this time, and then I let them out several times over the next few hours, and then left about 8 to head to my apartment. I normally gate them in their sleeping area, the dining room, for the night, but I decided to I'll leave the living room open for the night so they could lay where they wanted. This is where I fucked up.
It probably wasn't carpet, so. Oh, goodness.
Sometime in the middle of the night, one of them crapped in the carpet in there. My parents' room, but decided it was cleaning time and proceeded to grind and smear the dog poop into the entire living room floor and a nice $300 throw rug my parents have in there.
Oh, a little throw rug in there, though.
To make matters worse, the dogs then proceed to roam to the first floor of the house all night, tracking poop everywhere. I kid you not, if someone had given me a bag of poop and said, hey, I need you to cover this entire living room in poop, I couldn't have done as good a job as that little robot.
Couldn't have done as good a job with that little fucker. Oh, my God. No.
Now, the last 7 hours of my Saturday has been me disassembling the entire house, cleaning every inch of flooring, steam cleaning all the couches, washing every blanket, etc. I can't be mad at the dogs
Shit
because
covered
ultimately it's my fault. I should have tried to get back to the house sooner. I definitely shouldn't have left the gate to the house open. But God, was I thinking what barbecued dog would taste like all day as I scrub the house down. You know,
also, what barbecue dog
they did a very good job describing.
This is really greatly worded.
Very simple.
Ooh.
So, you know, if I'm just gonna say this, if like the dog's rules are that they're supposed to be locked into this certain area, maybe it's because mom and dad already figured out they'll shit on the carpet.
Don't lock them in with the $300 throw rug.
Yeah.
The Roomba. Oh God.
Oh, my Lanta.
That's like my mom's biggest fear. She's like, oh, I ain't getting one of them Roomba fucking things.
It would be a waste of time for us, I think.
We following around the floofs. We'll get you.
I don't even think it's
that
that.
thing would be exhausted at my house.
That's what I mean. I think
get me enough. I need a break.
Yeah, I think that if it got like, we would have to get one that like empties the trash out, but then it's just going to be always hair. That's why we have a vacuum out constantly, because we just vacuum up all the hair.
So we had to get a new vacuum today because the canister wasn't big enough to hold all the fucking hair.
It's crazy. We got a really nice one now, honestly. I don't know what kind it is, but it's really nice. It takes a lot. But, I mean, it doesn't take a lot to build up in our house. It doesn't matter how much I brush them either. They probably get brushed like 3 or 4 times a week, honestly. T-Beanie's not so bad, though. Bender. Crazy.
Dakota's shedding so bad right now.
I haven't brushed Balto in a little bit. Or Bella, I guess, either. Bella's about to get brushed out because she's got to get
Diamond. It was weird. The short hair was like shedded more than...
Balto sheds really bad. Balto is... like, Brett is more allergic to Balto and Bender than he is T-Beanie and Bella. He's the least probably allergic to Bella. However, it would make sense if he's been having all these problems, because he's been having all these problems, and he's had Bella for 12 years. So, because she's gonna be 13 in January. So
crazy.
Yeah. Balto's gonna be 10.
Growing up was, oh my God.
It's crazy.
But oh
no, it's pretty nuts. Okay. So this is an Am I the Asshole? Am I the asshole for not going to Christmas after my in-laws purposely exposed me to my allergy on Thanksgiving?
Probably not, no. I don't know. All about fuck off on family. Fucked up, I'm not showing up. Nope. Almost killed me with the allergy?
Yeah, I want to know. Let's find out what it is. My in-laws and I have a rocky relationship for the past 11 years. There have been highs and lows, and both sides are to blame. There has been miscommunication, avoidance, assumptions made, and more. It has gotten nasty several times. In the last year, this has resulted in me setting some hard boundaries after trying to set them many times within the last decade and giving in. I've really tried to stay firm with to help my husband, kids, and most importantly, my mental health after I was in a bad place. Now on to this Thanksgiving. I, 33 female, have been allergic to cats for as long as I can remember. Everyone who knows this, and especially my in-laws who have been around for the last 15 years. When I was little, I was just sneezing and itchy, irritated, red puffy eyes. In high school, it escalated to those symptoms and hives. In the last 7 years, it has gotten worse after being at a kid's birthday party and around a cat. It resulted in me that my primary physician also told me that I was having an asthma attack for the last 24 hours, in addition to the hives, eye irritation, and sneezy running mess.
Yeah, anaphylactic shock coming up next.
Yeah, right? Fuck. At Thanksgiving, my in-laws didn't tell me that their once outside cats that I already had reactions to are now living inside. I showed up to 2 cats in the kitchen. I turned wide-eyed to my husband and excused myself to the bathroom. They removed the cats so that so they didn't think that it would be a problem. My eyes were puffy, bloodshot, watery, and then the hives came. I sat trying not to make a fuss as my oldest daughter, 14, was livid and told me to leave. I said I would leave and get my allergy meds, and I left and got my inhaler and my other med at home. Despite everyone else in the family having some major concerns and that I was getting progressively worse over an hour and a half that I had been there, my in-laws, 2 sister-in-laws, mother-in-laws, father-in-law, and grandmother-in-law completely ignored it. Once they heard I was leaving, they offered me Benadryl. I took it graciously, but I was already taking deep breaths. Dinner was soon served after. They sat me right next to the kitty litter. Yes, their kitty litter was right by the table that we were eating at.
Fuck?
Not only is that gross, but seriously, I couldn't sit somewhere else. And then they asked if I would like wine to drink. I reminded them that I just took Benadryl and I wasn't feeling the best as is.
Oh my God.
I do not want to mix anything. Although I may be misinterpreting their response, but it appeared that they acted like I was being dramatic. I sat and pushed food around on my plate to not draw any concern, especially after we received a text prior to make it a good Thanksgiving, as my mother-in-law is not doing well with her struggle with cancer. My husband was checking in on me, and I told him I would be leaving to drive around and get out for a while of the house because of the cats. I left for an hour, and when I returned, still no one asked how I was or if I was okay. Soon after, we packed up and left. I was so upset, but said nothing the whole time to keep the peace.
To keep the peace.
We all stripped down when we got home to wash everything. I got into the shower and washed my body and my face, and my hair was still covered in bumps and my eyes a total mess. I got my inhaler and finally felt relief. The next day, my eyes were crusted together, super puffy, started getting itchy and watery, and hives broke out of my hands. I washed everything again, took meds, and a puff from my inhaler. Finally, by the end of the day, it had all subsided. My in-laws did not message me once, asking if I was okay, or my husband. They just truly didn't care. I told my husband that it seemed that it was very calculated to not tell me about the cats and then act like nothing is happening once I got reactions to them. I told him for the sake of my mental and physical health, I will not be returning to their house. I know that Christmas will be there as it has been for the last 15 years. He didn't really have a response and doesn't think they did anything intentionally. I disagree, and regardless, I do not want to go through this feeling again. I told him we don't even have to tell them until he shows up with the kids and not me. This would avoid any drama leading up to the event, and I said that we can lie and say I don't feel well. He suggested going and bringing my inhaler and taking meds before we go. I can see that, but honestly, I'm hurt. It feels very wrong that no one seems to care to tell me before that we got there and not to care once I was struggling. Am I the asshole for not wanting to go back to that house after Christmas?
No, you are not.
No.
Oh my God, that one sounds like my in-laws.
You know, and the husband is not being very supportive in this, you know, especially because we just read the one about the onions.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was like, please don't die. I'm trying to help you not die. Could you not die, please?
Like, come on, just take the pills. Yeah, come on, just can you take the pills so we can go to my mom's? Like, honey, it's
Slap
fine.
him with the EpiPen in the ass and way through the door. Here we go.
It's fine, come on.
It'll be fine. Just sit next to the cat shit. It'll be fine. Oh my God. Whoa. That was like, I think someone wrote my story. I'm like, oh, fucking weird.
Okay,
Oops.
so I have.
For real, keeps a shit box next to the fucking dining room table.
I'm gonna look up a little further. Okay, so.
That's really my in-laws.
Oh. I think that we're gonna do one more, but this one is a little. I gotta find because it's got. Okay, here we go.
Yeah.
So this one is am I the asshole? Will I be the asshole?
Oh, am I or am I and will I?
Am I the asshole for publicly humiliating my wife at her workplace after discovering her affair?
Ooh, juicy.
I don't even know where to begin. My wife, Leah, 43 female, and I have been married for 10 years. We have 2 beautiful children, our 5-year-old son and our 2-year-old daughter. I thought we were happy, or at least I thought we were trying, but 4 weeks ago, my entire life crashed down. I, 46 male, started to notice that she was glued to her phone more than usual. Leah has always been private, but this was different. She'd smile at her screen, then immediately lock it when I walked into the room. One night after she fell asleep, I couldn't resist, and I checked her phone. What I found still makes me sick to my stomach. There were messages with a coworker, Eric, 48 male, going back years. Explicit texts, photos, promises of love, even references to secret trips they'd taken while I was at home with the kids, believing she was working late. My heart was racing. My hands were trembling. I confronted her the next morning. At first she denied it and said I was misunderstanding. But when I read the messages out loud, her face crumbled. She admitted it. She said it started 4 years ago, long before our youngest was born. She tried to justify it. You were distant, we were struggling, but nothing could excuse this. I started digging deeper. I followed her to work one day, needing to see it for myself. Sure enough, after her shift, she walked out arm in arm with Eric. They didn't even try to hide it. They got into his car and drove off. I followed them to a restaurant where they sat like a happy couple, laughing and holding hands. It broke me. But what shattered me completely is that when I learned they'd built their own life together. They'd been renting an apartment near work, a place where she'd go when she was working overtime. I saw them go inside, watching them from my car, parking on the streets a few blocks away. I checked on them about 4 nights, and they had the same routine. That's when I snapped. I packed all of her belongings, everything she owned, I put into the back of my car and drove to her workplace the next morning after spying on them. I know I did wrong, but when she walked out, I dumped everything right there on the sidewalk in front of her and her coworkers and told her she wasn't coming home. Since then, I've filed for divorce, and I'm fighting for full custody of the kids. She's begging me to forgive her, saying she doesn't want me to lose the family that we've built, but how can I? Friends and family keep asking me... Yeah. Friends and family keep asking me if I regret how I handled it, publicly humiliating her, kicking her out without notice. She tore her family apart. At least all she could do was face some accountability, but I can't help but feel like the bad guy for how I acted. I had nights where I felt very lonely and I miss her. Of course, I'm also attending to therapy sessions and to be better for the kids and myself. All I care about are them. They don't deserve this chaos, and as much as it hurts, I know they are better off with me than someone who could live a lie for so long. Am I the asshole?
Absolutely not. That bitch is fucking ruthless. That's insane.
I know, right?
Oh my god. I want to cry for him.
Dumping the suitcase out in front of her.
That's it. Yeah, what? Fuck, go you, bud.
So,
because even after finding out, like, hey, I found out about your bullshit, and then you're still like,
yeah, doing it right after,
hand in hand, going out for dinner after work, have an apartment together when you're working overtime.
How do you have an affair for 4 years?
Yeah, and you got 2 young kids. The one's only 5, and like your whole. You're fucking sick, bitch.
It's crazy. So, and then.
God. My heart broke. Go you, bud. Fuck yeah, dump that shit on the sidewalk in front of work.
I gotta see where I just had that. Oh, right here. So that was 19 days ago. And there's an update to it.
Oh.
So, the update is titled, "Turns out my wife's affair was worse than I thought."
Is that here? Hey. Oh, fuck.
So, thanks to everyone who commented on my original post. I wanted to share an update about where things stand now. For those asking how I didn't notice her affair for 4 years, it's because Leah was incredibly private. She was adamant about boundaries, that she would shut me down if I asked too many questions. She handled the rent, utilities, and her own expenses, while I covered groceries and the kids' school costs, internet, water, and anything extra. She claimed it was fair since we both worked, and I didn't push because I trusted her and didn't want to create unnecessary conflict. Looking back, I can see how I missed the signs, but at the time, I didn't think questioning her was necessary. After finding out about her affair, I had DNA tests done for both kids.
Oh, fuck.
My son is biologically mine, but my daughter isn't. That was a tough pill to swallow, but it doesn't change anything for me. I've been her father in every way that matters, and I love her like my own. I believe the person who raises a child is their real parent, and no court is going to convince me otherwise. Right? That's crazy. Well, yeah, because the first one had to be his, because it was only 4 years. So, what the fuck? Right now, I'm in the middle of a legal process. The divorce itself hasn't been finalized yet, but I've made it clear that I've been fighting for full custody of both kids. I've explained to the court why I believe Leah isn't fit to have primary custody. Her betrayal wasn't just a personal one. It shows a complete disregard for the stability and well-being of her family.
Bingo.
The court process is slow, and so far we've only had preliminary hearings. I've provided evidence of her infidelity and the double life she led, and I've asked for a full psychological evaluation for both of us to ensure the best decision is made for the kids. I'm also working on showing the court that I've been the primary caregiver emotionally and financially. My lawyer has told me it's a tough battle, especially since court often lead towards joint custody, but I'm not backing down. To those who said my story sounded fake, I get it. This is the kind of nightmare that you can only see happen in movies or to someone else. I wouldn't believe it either if I wasn't living it. All I can say is I hope you never go through something like this. It destroys everything you thought you knew about your life. For now, I'm staying focused on my kids and doing everything I can to give them a stable and loving home. They're the only good thing to come out of all of this, and I won't let them down. Thank you for your support. It means more than you know.
Oh, you dad. Oh. Damn.
I know, this one
brutal.
makes my heart hurt.
Fucking brutal. Oh.
I just will never understand cheating. I'll never understand it.
Yeah, the deception of, oh my gosh.
Yeah, and that's
some
like
deep deception, whole fucking second life. Like,
yeah, and you know, it's crazy because I feel like when you hear the second life stories, it's always the guy who's got a whole second family. But in this case,
right.
It's a lady who's had a kid with her affair partner and her husband and is just like holding a second life as a single parent on one side.
Yeah. Raising that guy's fucking kid, and oh my fuck. Well, you're all having dinner with that. Oh my god.
I'm not really sure. I'm not really sure how that's going to go in court, though, because I mean, although, yeah, you have raised that. If you've already done the testing for the fact that it's not like his I mean, I guess his name is probably on the birth certificate. I guess I don't know how it goes after.
Well, in some states, it's like whoever you're married to. That's the person that's on the birth certificate. If there's not a paternity test established at birth.
So if the paternity test happens after that, then would the name be removed from the birth certificate?
Probably have to go through the courts all over again for changing names and shit.
They must have to do a DNA test, because I'm just wondering like how that works out. Like if you're trying to get full custody of both of them, I don't know that that's how that's going to work out.
Yeah, I think it's very state to state. I've seen some cases where it wasn't a parent at all, but they had proof of raising that child for however long, majority of their life, and had parental rights. Ugh.
Man.
Oof. That's a fucking hot mess. That bitch is evil. No. What?
The whole double life. How do you... So, okay, I mean, like...
Who's got that much time and effort?
Do you keep all the bills separate just because you want to rent a whole nother apartment with your boyfriend?
You're budgeting with your boyfriend.
Yeah, you got your boyfriend budget and your...
boyfriend budget.
And I feel like, you know...
Fuck.
Generally, I've heard jokes where they say, like, you know, rather be the side chick because it's less money.
But is it, though?
Yeah.
Sounds expensive AF.
Yeah, that sounds like, I don't want to lead no double life. That's two things you got to pay for. In this economy?
Oh, sweet baby Jesus. People crazy.
It was crazy too, because I found that one and I was like, wow, this is insane. And I just loved the throwing of the suitcases.
Yeah, this
I would have done the same shit.
You guys go ahead and walk out of work hand in hand. Fuck
Just
you!
throw 'em out, like, just in
Here's
case
your
anybody
shit.
didn't know, I'm her husband. Hi, Eric. Like,
Nice to see you again, Eric. I'll be at the house raising your fucking kid, you ass fuck. Oh.
fucking for real though. What the fuck?
Oh my god, that guy. Oh, I feel my heart for him. Brutal. Oh,
Not
well.
the asshole.
Oh,
Oh, well.
woof.
Ow. I will say my ass hurts this time.
Yeah. Thinking a little bit now.
Bummer.
Not too shabby.
I love this.
Stayed comfy for a while.
Yeah. Well, thanks for coming back to Ask the Conch. It's been fun. It's been crazy. It's been a little sad.
All over the place.
Yeah, it really was. I just gave up on trying to lump them together, though, because I can't really find... I mean, I don't think I have enough time to find enough on Reddit to make whole piles of them. Maybe
Yeah, I
one
like
day.
the elements of spread. Who knows? We're gonna cry.
Yeah.
We're gonna fucking someone's shit stomp off them. Boys with the shit.
Oh my god.
The Roomba got it this time.
Yeah, we did have a poop story. I think poop stories are funny.
Can't go wrong with a good shit story.
Anyways, don't forget to like and subscribe.
Bye.
Bye.